Brendan, first of all, a fitness and health update after the weekend. On a positive note, of course, you got Paulo and James back on the pitch, so you must be pleased in terms of getting the strength and depth back in the squad. Vil came in for a strong league debut. Is there any more word on Kasper? I know you said you were still waiting on the outcome of his scan. Is that still the case?
Well, we've had some news, and we'll see over the course of the next 5 to 6 weeks is what was mentioned. But this is just something that I think day by day we have a look at it. But I think that the timeline that was given to us was maybe around about that. But Cas tends to think it might be not as long as that. So, but certainly in the immediate future, he won't be available.
But are you slightly optimistic then we might see him before the end of the season?
Yeah, I believe so. But like I say, we'll just have to keep an eye on it.
Absolutely. And getting Paulo and James back on the pitch, you must have been pleased like that. And they themselves must have been pleased more than anything.
Absolutely. They spent a long time out, in particular James. So for them to get the feel of being on the field again in a competitive game was really good. And I think that the big strength for us this season has been the squad. That has really helped us get through a really busy schedule. We've got Liam Scales now back. He won't be ready for this weekend, but he's back in training, non-contact with the team. So we expect Liam to be available also leading into the Kilmarnock game. So we're starting to get the players back and having a really strong squad again.
A good win over Hearts then, a top performance, especially that first half with some real scintillating attacking play. When the team performs like that and you then have to prepare for the next match, it's a case of not trying to change too much and just keep the rhythm going throughout the week?
Yeah, I think at this point of the season now and this run-in, you're very much focused just on the next game. You can look too far ahead and think of what it is you need to win leagues or win cups, whatever it is, but it is really about focusing on the next game. I thought the performance against Hearts was excellent, especially when I watched it back and analysed the game. I thought, where we talked about being better in dealing with the press and Hearts wanted to start strong, but we actually started well. We had a couple of moments where the sort of build-up play broke down, but that will happen. You cannot be clean and pure in your game when teams are pressing well, but it certainly was much better than what it had been in our previous game at home. So that, and then you see what happens when we broke through that press and pressure. We scored 3 outstanding goals. Second half we could have had some more as well. Didn't quite make the final touches, but we controlled the game, which was important to get the 3 points. So really pleased with that. And now the focus is very much purely just on the St Johnstone game.
You mentioned that, but it's the time of the season where supporters and the media, start getting their calculators out and they start working out when potentially teams can win the league. You say you won't be doing that, the players won't be doing that. Can you understand from a supporter's perspective that they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the role of a supporter. You tend to want to try and look to see when your team can succeed. It's been such a long season and really intense season. So of course you want to look at the end of when that can be that you can win a title. But for us, there's still a lot of work to do, and from within football, our focus is very much on the next game and look to perform well and get 3 points.
Which is away to St Johnstone on Sunday. The team sitting at the bottom of the league, on paper then, it should be the least challenging of league matches, but they're in a cup semi-final against us. They'll be fighting for their very survival in the league. Would it be a foolish person who discounts their spirit and capabilities?
Yeah, very, because since the new manager's gone in, he's tried to work an idea, and I can still see moments of that, and what it is he's trying to do, trying to make them more football based and looking to compete along the same alongside that. But it has been a challenge, of course. The pitch will be a challenge, for us. Seeing the pitch at St Johnstone, but however, whatever conditions it is, whatever the team it is that we're playing, we know that we have to play our game and then look to bring home the points. But St Johnstone will be a tough team to break down, and we have to really be on our game, and that's what we're preparing for this week.
I can't talk about the current Celtic team without mentioning Daizen Maeda, your top scorer, the man who everyone is talking about. He's just hit 30 goals so far this season. Simon Donnelly said to me after the match on Celtic TV he thinks he could get 40. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that or what his thoughts would be on that, but can you put your finger on what has made him so prolific this season? Is it simply just down to a change of position?
No, because he only changed position in February. I think that up until that point he'd still scored goals. I think we always believed, and if you trace back my comments on Daizen through my time working with him, I always believed he could play as a striker. And I think if you look at his goal return since February when he has sort of moved into there, I think he's got 15 goals in 11 games. I think the only game he hasn't scored in the full 90 minutes was away in Bayern. But virtually every other game, I'm pretty sure he's felt like he scored in. But it's not just that, it's what he gives in the pressing. The pressing really sparks off. This is what I like to think my teams are built on, and that high intensity pressure from the front. And he is absolutely perfect for that. But the thing that doesn't get mentioned so much, everyone talks about his pressing and his goals return, which has been great. His movement is frightening. His movement in the game is as good as you'll see. You know, if you think of his movement to stay onside for the first one, you know, brilliant pass by Cal. Everything he's touched, Cal, how he takes it away, but his timing of his run to get in and finish was great. His the second goal that we scored, where it doesn't like there's any room to take the ball in behind. So when Nicholas plays the pass, his movement to invite the pass makes a short movement, makes the header, hits the post, comes out, and Jota gets his goal. And the third one, if you watch, he has to make 2 or 3 runs just to stay onside. You know, so his timing of his movement, his anticipation, everything about him is so good as a striker. He's obviously played wide, and he's also scored goals from there because he gets into the areas. But it doesn't surprise me because of all the attributes he has in his game and the anticipation he has in his game. And he's just an absolutely phenomenal player, and he will get some more goals by the end of the season, I'm pretty sure.
You mentioned his movement, and having coached some of the top strikers in world football, is that up there with the best?
Well, there's no doubt. It's anticipation. His reading of the game is so good. As you see it in his pressing, and you also see it in how he reads the game to get into the positions. He's just playing at a really, really high level, and it's just a joy to see him play because he is so much joy. You see, you know, he's one of the few players in the world you see running and smiling. There's very few people that smile when they're running, especially when they're doing defensive running.
Yeah, running back, he's still enjoying it.
He still enjoys it. So, but I think what's the real beauty in his game, he was probably renowned as this pressing machine that could run and run, but he's now shown the subtlety in the game and the quality in the game, and that central area allows him to move freely, and so he's playing at a really high level.
I know you said it's hard to get much out of him. I know that interviewing him, it's hard to get much out of him. I know there's a bit of a language barrier, obviously, but do you get the feeling he's really enjoying the goals as well and really enjoying his football?
Yeah. Well, I think you can see it. I think he's a big appreciation of the support he gets from, you know, the fans. Absolutely idolise him and love him, and he's got his new song, which is great. So I think he feels that, he senses that, he knows he has the support here. This is the environment that we have. It's a really supportive culture here, so he has that. So yeah, I think he's in a really good place in his game and his life, and he's shown that consistently.
Just finally, Brendan, winning the league and the cup is obviously your aim. We're playing well, but can you still see areas that you want to improve on?
Yeah, I was talking to some of our individual players this morning, just based around how they can improve and how they can be better and more efficient in the game. But I think over the course of the season, up until this point, the players have had a tremendous season. If you think the progress we've made in the Champions League, already winning a cup, and a really good position in the Scottish Premiership, we're always nitpicking at areas of where we can be better and games where we could have been better in. But that's how you improve. That's, you know, you cannot be perfect, even though you want to be. But those imperfections allow you to develop and improve, and this is what I see in this group. They're just an incredible bunch of young guys that want to be better, want to improve, and they have a real real value in the work that they do. So we have an idea, we're working very hard, and we only then continue that through to the end of the season.